Good morning, students. Let us continue with geography lesson number 6, manufacturing industries. Today, in this video, we are going to learn about the classification of industries. Industries are classified on the basis of source of raw materials used, on the basis of role played by them, on the basis of capital investment, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of the bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods. Now let us learn about this in detail. On the basis of source of raw materials used, industries are classified as agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Now let us talk about agro-based industries. These industries depend upon agriculture for their raw materials. Example, cotton, woolen, jute, silk textile, rubber, sugar, tea, coffee, edible oil. Okay. Now mineral-based industries. These industries depend on minerals for their raw materials. Example, iron and steel, cement, aluminium, machine tools, petrochemicals. Now on the basis of role played by them, industries are classified as basic or key industries and consumer industries. Now let us learn in detail. Basic or key industries are those which supply their products as raw materials to manufacture other goods. It means consumers cannot consume the products produced by these industries because it requires further processing. Once again, basic or key industries are those which supply their products as raw materials to manufacture other goods. Okay, example, iron and steel, copper smelting, aluminium smelting. Directly we cannot use all these goods. It is used as raw materials to manufacture some other goods. I hope it is clear. Consumer industries. Consumer industries produce goods for direct use by consumers. Here, the goods produced by consumer industries can be directly used by the consumers. For example, sugar, toothpaste, paper, fans, etc. On the basis of capital investment, industries can be classified as small-scale industries and large-scale industries. In small-scale industries, the capital required is less than that of large-scale industries. Let us learn. Industries that require capital up to 1 crore are called small-scale industries. And what about large-scale industries? These industries require capital more than 1 crore. So I hope you will remember this. On the basis of ownership, industries can be classified as public sector industries, private sector industries, joint sector industries and cooperative sector industries. Now let us learn about these in detail. Public sector industries. These are owned and operated by government agencies. Example, BHEL, SAIL, etc. Full form of BHEL is Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited and SAIL is Steel Authority of India Limited. Now let us talk about private sector industries. These are owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals. Example, TISCO, that is Tata Iron and Steel Company, Bajaj Auto Limited, Dabur Industries, etc. Joint sector industries. These industries are owned by both, that is public as well as private sector. These industries are jointly run by the state and individuals or a group of individuals. Example, Oil India Limited. Oil India Limited is owned by both, that is public as well as private sector. Cooperative sector industries. These are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers or both. Now what is done over here? Grouping together of resources take place. That is capital, raw materials, labor. and whatever profits or losses take place, they share it equally. Okay, once again, these industries are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. They pool in the resources, capital, raw materials, labor, and share the profits or losses proportionately. Example, the sugar industry in Maharashtra, the coir industry in Kerala. On the basis of the bulk and weight of raw material and finished goods, industries are classified as heavy industries and light industries. Now let us learn about heavy industries. These industries use heavy and bulky raw materials and produce heavy materials. So the raw materials as well as the materials produced by these industries are heavy and bulky. Example, iron and steel, automobiles, etc. Now let us learn about light industries. These industries use light raw materials and produce light materials. So the raw materials used by these industries and the materials produced by these industries both are light in weight. Okay. Example, electrical goods industries, toy industries, etc. Now let us talk about agro-based industries. You all know, students, agro-based industries are the industries that depend on agriculture for their raw material. Now let us talk about textile industry. Textile industry occupies unique position in the Indian economy. Students, do you know why is it so? Because it contributes significantly to industrial production, employment generation, and foreign exchange earnings. So these are the reasons which makes textile industry to occupy unique position in the Indian economy. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant, okay, and complete in the value chain, that is from raw material to the highest value added products. Everything is done in India. So textile industry is the only industry in our country which is self-reliant, which means it is not dependent on any other foreign country. Okay, it is complete in the value chain, that is from raw material to the highest value added products. Everything is done in our country. Now let us talk about cotton textiles. In ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning and weaving was done in handlooms. Okay. Students, do you know when and where did the first Indian cotton mill start? Yes, you are right. The first Indian cotton mill started in Mumbai in the year 1854. So you need to remember this. The first Indian cotton mill started in Mumbai in the year 1854. Now after the 18th century, what happened? Hand looms were replaced with power looms. So weaving took place with the help of power looms instead of hand looms. Okay. Students, do you know why did our traditional industries suffer a setback during the colonial period? Yes, because they could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. This was the reason our traditional industries suffered a setback during the colonial period. I hope it is clear. In the early years, the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. As cotton is grown in Maharashtra and Gujarat, in those areas, cotton textile industries were located. Availability of raw cotton, market, transport, including accessible port facilities, labor, moist climate, etc., contributed towards the localization of cotton textile industry. I hope it is clear. While spinning continues to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, weaving is highly decentralized. Students, do you know the reason behind this? Why is it that weaving is highly decentralized? Yes, to provide scope for incorporating traditional skills and designs of weaving in cotton, silk, zari embroidery, etc. I hope it is clear. Khadi handloom provide large-scale employment to weavers and support cottage industries. So Khadi Handloom provides large-scale employment, provides job opportunities to many weavers, as well as it supports cottage industries. India exports yarn to Japan. The other importers of cotton goods from India are USA, UK, Russia, France, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, and African countries. So, India exports cotton goods to these countries. Now, let us try to understand the challenges faced by the cotton textile industries. Outdated machinery, irregular power supply, competition from synthetic fibers, and low output of labor. These all are the challenges faced by the cotton textile industry. Exporting of yarn does not provide as much income as exporting of fabrics. Now let us try to understand this with the help of an example. Suppose that yarn is sold at rupees 85 per kg. If it is sold as a trouser, it fetches rupees 800 per kg. Isn't it, students? Because the value of trousers is more than that of the yarn. So our country should focus more on exporting fabrics instead of yarn. I hope it is clear. Now it's time for quiz. I hope you all are ready. Question number 1. Cotton textile industry is a option A, forest based industry, option B, key industry, option C, agro based industry, option D, none of the above. Yes, which is the correct answer? Yes, very good. Option C, agro based industry. Cotton textile industry is a agro based industry. Very good. Next question. The industries that produce goods for direct use by consumers are called option A, key industry, option B, small scale industry, option C, consumer industry, option D, heavy industry. Yes, which is the correct answer? Yes, it's option C, consumer industry. Consumer industries produce goods for direct use by consumers. Okay. Next question. The first cotton mill of India was set up in option A, Ahmedabad, option B, Kolkata, option C, Coimbatore, option D, Mumbai. Yes, which is the correct answer? Yes, it's option D, Mumbai. The first cotton mill of India was set up in Mumbai. Very good. Now let us do a short recap. Today in this video, we have learnt about the classification of industries. Industries are classified on the basis of source of raw material, on the basis of capital investment, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of bulk and weight of raw material and finished goods. On the basis of source of raw material, we have agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. On the basis of capital investment, we have large-scale industries and small-scale industries. On the basis of ownership, we have public sector industries, private sector industries, joint sector industries and cooperative sector industries. On the basis of bulk and weight of raw material and finished goods, we have heavy industry and light industries. We have learnt about the agro-based industries in detail. The remaining topics we will be covering in our next video. Till then, bye and take care.